Should you add a new service to your practice? That depends on the answers to a few important questions, which unfortunately, we don't see enough practices asking and answering before they do. My guest today helps his clients develop informed answers to the right questions, and he's going to share his thinking with us. I'm Carl White, principal at Market Advisory Group, which is a healthcare marketing agency, and I'm also the host of Practice Care. The mission for both is the same, and that's to help private practice owners stay private. It's usually what they want anyway, but care is better. Everything's better when it's the providers of care who own the practice, because in every decision that's got to get made, whether it's clinical, business, or otherwise, are made by those who are providing care. That way we can rest assured that patient care stays first. My guest today is Joe Lessard. Joe is a partner at Professional Business Management, which is a healthcare practice management and accounting firm in the Northwest Chicago suburbs. Joe has been with PBM since 2009 and a principal since 2020. He has attained designations as a certified public accountant, health practice advisor, and as a certified healthcare business consultant. He believes in rolling up his sleeves and is usually on-site visiting his clients' operations firsthand. Joe is responsible for all accounting and payroll services, as well as personal and business tax returns for his clients. He helps them review operations and day-to-day aspects such as HR, employee benefits, retirement plans, collections, billing, and patient interactions. Every client has different needs, and that's why Joe's commitment to his clients' needs and his customer service are what he really prides himself on. Joe is a returning guest. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me.
It is good to have you back, as always. It's an interesting topic. Should you add a new service to your practice? I think there's more than meets the eye in what you should ask before you kind of take the plunge. And we're going to get into it, but for those who haven't heard an episode with you before, just fill in that background a bit for us.
Yeah, I've been with my firm now, Professional Business Management. As you mentioned, we focus on healthcare. That's all we do.
You're over 15 years there now, if my math is
Yeah,
right.
it's crazy how time is flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, we focus on private practices and medical, dental, veterinarian. That's all we do in the Chicagoland area. So certainly we've seen a lot over the years, and our firm has been around since 1932. So between my experience of here 15 years and our other three partners, we've seen a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And kind of continuity is, you just kind of say it in passing, 1932, but I don't know. I have no idea what the stats are, but coming about 100 years, that's rare company. It's like you and AT&T or something. I don't know. Small list. So let's get into it. I mean, the opener was there's questions you got to ask and good answers to them before you take the plunge and add a new service to your practice. It's an appealing thing. I know I'm hearing about it more and more. The motivation sounds good. Add revenue to the practice in a, let's say, fixed and declining reimbursement environment. All those reasons make sense, but it seems to be the most important question to ask is, and I'm wondering why, if you agree and why, is, does the market I serve even need this service?
It's the most important question. I think a lot of continuing education or representatives out there will make things sound very appealing that they can add on a service or buy a piece of equipment to then take on this additional source of revenue. But I think is getting a survey of or getting an understanding of who your patients are. Does it make sense? Are you going to add Botox? Well, does your population want Botox? Does your competition in the surrounding area offer that same service?
Right.
Okay, well then you might need to add it because you need to stay competitive with them. Now, if none of them do, well, adding it might make you different, which is important. But maybe there's a reason why nobody else is doing it.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe it's because this is not the population. This is not the demographics that want that. So absolutely, you need to first find out if it's something your patients want. And you could do it as something as informal of asking patients, asking your own patients, hey, I'm thinking about adding this service. Would something you'd be interested in?
Yeah.
Whether it's a survey, a general survey that goes out via email, via text, or something more informal, just asking them while they're in the chair, while they're on the exam table, or in the waiting room, right? I think it's important to understand whether it's even worth doing to begin with.
Yep. And is it something for just start to break down your patient population, but just a little more granular? Is this a service for all of your patients or some of your patients? The tech to do that survey is super easy. As if you've got an email list of your patients, that plus a Google form and somebody with a little bit of time to compile the answers can tell you a lot. It's just a matter of, putting good questions in it. But yeah, like the marketing way to think of it is you got to have an unmet need first. There's all sorts of cool products and services and tech that are chasing markets that it usually doesn't work out that way. If you have this cool, like you said earlier, buy a new piece of equipment and then go find a market for it. Might, but that's backwards. What are some like other imports? So question number one, does the market that I serve need this? Like need, not would like to have, but need. Is there an unmet need? What are some other important questions you find yourself? I imagine every week, every month, this comes up between you and at least some of your clients. So what are some of the things you find yourself just repeatedly asking them? Have you thought about X? Have you thought about Y?
Yeah, let's say you've answered that first question, and the answer is a yes, right?
Mhm.
Okay, well now what do the financial what's the financial outlook look at this?
Yeah.
Well, if I have 10 patients doing this a month and it generates this amount of revenue, okay, well, what's the cost for that?
Mhm.
Right? You can't just think of the revenue standpoint. Wow, it's all this unfunded money. Well, what's the cost of buying that piece of equipment or
Mhm.
employing that person, someone else, or training that person, and the education or certification you need to deliver those services?
Mhm.
A lot of the med spas are big things now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And adding on these fillers, these Botox, these injectables,
Yeah.
these are all the amount of revenue you get can be really good.
Mhm.
The net revenue isn't usually that much
Mhm.
because it usually your cost to deliver those services and the drugs you have to purchase to you're not the margin isn't that great.
Yeah, you're storing inventory, you're employing somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
And
margin
that's
of those things aren't necessarily that great, but what it does do for you is it provides a greater glue. Is it
mhm.
for patients want convenience?
Mhm.
They love one-stop shops. And that's
Mhm.
why where all these groups, these big DSOs, these big hospital groups have really done a good job of if providing one place they can go to this group and see all the different specialists.
Yeah.
They can go to this one dental organization and they have access to an endodontist, an oral surgeon, an orthodontist. They have
Mhm.
access to everybody
Yeah.
and all these different services. Well, now if you can kind of do that in your own way and add these additional services, that provides a greater glue.
Right. Which then elevates the level of strategic, right? It's just not a grab. It's not a land grab for more revenue. Um, it's sort of stepping back and saying, is, is there a way to get durable market share, to get, more patients more durably? Um, so that's a big deal. And then yeah, let's keep going. Like what else do you find yourself? Because I was thinking of, how would you schedule? Like, let's get granular for a second. Patient calls up tomorrow, says, I want to come in. Could you handle it? Is it as easy as the one-stop shop for them to do that?
Yeah, I mean, having you got to be able to deliver the service, right?
Hmm.
And so, like, from a money standpoint, that's certainly important, but from an availability standpoint is another thing.
Hmm.
I always tell a story of my wife wanting to schedule a dermatology appointment, and they were booked out in 9 months, and that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like you will go elsewhere for that same service,
Hmm.
and if you can't deliver those services in a timely way, then it makes no sense. You
Hmm.
don't have the right people to deliver those services, the right availability to deliver those services,
Hmm.
and you've invested all this for no reason.
Right. Do you get into with your clients, like whether it's insurance based or sort of private pay? Do you ever, is that
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the main reasons people really like some of these add-on services where they are cash
there's just
paying,
cash pay?
right?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
so it's outside of insurance. It allows them so they don't have this, um, you know, they are. the market really dictates what they can charge versus the
Hmm.
insurance payer, right?
Hmm.
And so that usually means more money, more revenue.
Hmm.
And so that's certainly appealing to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Whether it's these injectables or what have you, but those generally mean a higher profit margin, and that's what makes them so appealing.
Yep. Do you ever see it on the insurance side? We're going to add a new service and but it's insurance based. Is there motivation there or just like, oh, it's insurance. I don't want any more of that.
Well, I guess depending on what service you're looking at, right? Is it now saying, hey, I'm now going to have an endodontist come into my office. I'm a
Hmm.
general dentist, and I'm now going to have an endodontist come in once a week or
Hmm.
once a month, or an oral surgeon come in, right? Now I'm adding on technically different services,
True.
still insurance based,
True.
and I'm creating that one-stop shop. I'm providing more service opportunities for my patients.
Hmm.
It's still insurance based.
Hmm.
And the good thing is, from a general dentist standpoint, adding those services, it's usually higher paying.
Yeah.
It's a higher,
Yeah.
it's more profitable.
Hmm. I'm wondering, do you have any, as we talk about these, do you have any like, what about like a success story you can share, and maybe like a failure story, just to help people wrap their heads around this? It's not a new concept by far, but nevertheless, sometimes the failure stories are um, more instructive than the success stories.
Yeah, so I do have an OBGYN practice who has really done a good job of expanding these kind of services, and more not just focusing on the OBGYN aspect, but really just overall women's health.
Mm-hmm.
And if they've rebranded and done a really good job of expanding their service line to be a one-stop shop for just overall women's health,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a weight loss journey, whether it's helping them, new moms with breastfeeding, or these aesthetics,
Mm-hmm.
these injectables.
Mm-hmm.
They've really done a good job of expanding their services and providing opportunities for patients to get these services where they weren't getting done elsewhere. And
Mm-hmm.
they've done a really good job with that.
So I'll just taking women's health, broadening that definition, seeing what
Yeah,
else naturally fits in there.
yeah.
Okay. What about like a story that didn't go well and what the lesson
I
learned there
think
was?
I think this happens probably more often,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Okay.
because people take these continuing education and they get, oh, it sounds great. I can do this. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I only need to do this to sell this to my patients, these Botox things. It's great, but you got to be able to deliver it, as we mentioned earlier. And I think a lot of clients that I've seen add on these additional services, they'll do it, but they're not making an effort to really do it. So how many Botox injectables are they doing a month? 10.
So you
Like
mean like to
that's not
really
enough.
let
They're
their
not
market know
scaling it.
about it? Yeah.
They're not really scaling it up. They now do it, but
Mm-hmm.
they're not really making a push. They're not marketing it and not to really make it something bigger than it is. So it's
Yeah.
10 of something. That's you might as well do 0 of it because you're not really doing it.
Yeah. Is there one or two you can think of where, because you think about, you said something earlier, if your current patient population needs it, well, that's interesting. Like then the market, go back to our first question, does the market I serve need this service? In that case, the market is your current patient population, not even necessarily trying to grab more. And I'm wondering if you have examples of, or an example of one who they just missed the mark on their own patients, or and then maybe another one where they thought, we're going to get more new patients because of this, and it just flailed out.
I don't think I've seen, I'm sure there has,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
don't think I've really seen ones where they've gone through the effort of really doing it
Mhm.
and investing lots of money and it just flat out failing.
Okay.
Because that requires usually a bigger financial output for it to be a
Hmm.
complete failure, for
Hmm.
to raise to the level
Right.
of like failure that I see.
Or
Usually
maybe they just kind of limp along.
yeah, usually they're dipping their toe in certain services.
Hmm.
Now, certainly, whenever it requires a big piece of equipment, then we're really talking and we're really guiding our clients on how to make this profitable, how to really go about this. Because when you're spending a lot of money, usually our clients are asking us, is this worthwhile? And we'll help them, okay, this is how many patients you need to see. This is how much it's going to cost you. This is where your break-even point is. And we guide them through that process of how to do it. So that's why I'm saying we really don't see those big failures, because we've done a good job of guiding our clients to avoid that.
Yeah. Do they grasp, like, if you say, look, you need 50 patients a week, do they sit back and go, man, can we really do that? Like, what would it take to do that? How long would it take to reach that peak? It's not on the day that you announce it, like kind of a simple modeling of it. We really think we could do that. Do we have the bandwidth? Do we have the skill? You take them through that?
Yeah. I mean, again, I say it with my clients a lot, develop SMART goals. You're making more money or doing these services is certainly a noble effort, but you really have to make it so specific that you can guide your whole process. You need to have SMART goals. For those that don't know what the acronym stands for, it's specific. You need to have a specific goal. It needs to be measurable, right? And
achievable.
I
was going to say realistic, but that's the same as achievable. And then timely is the T.
Yes.
Actionable. The A is actionable. R is realistic, I believe. Don't skewer us, listeners, if we're getting this wrong. But these make sense. Yeah.
But again, the idea behind it is attainable, I think is what it is.
Attainable, yes.
Anyways, you really need to create a bite-sized version of this. So, okay, well, it's 50 patients a week. Well, okay, don't think of it as 50, think of it as 10 a day. Think of it in bite size so you can achieve it. Don't think about the mountain. Think about the first 10 steps you're going to take. So you can start small and build it up. And things are going to take time. You can't just all of a sudden see 50 patients a week for this additional service. It's going to take time, and it's going to take marketing effort. It's going to take boots on the ground, kind of talking with your patients, talking with the community ahead of time, so then you can hopefully hit the ground running and move faster with it.
Yeah. And my personal advice is, if you're thinking of doing this, you should think of it as a brand new business venture. That's the level of energy, I think, that you should think of it as. It's a line extension, I suppose, but you should think of it, especially if you have competition. Like, you are competing now against others who are already doing it. They've got an advantage because they've got more time in market. They know more than you do. They've experienced more than you do. And if you want this thing to get to 50 or whatever the number is that says we're glad we did this. This is really, benefiting the patients and benefiting us. You should be ready to devote the energy that you did when you opened up originally, because it's a brand new business,
Absolutely.
This isn't a bolt on for every Friday afternoon at 4 before you leave for the weekend. Oh, let's think about this whole new thing now. No, don't start. If that's all you're going to do, don't start.
And this is kind of dovetails, because I mentioned with a lot of my general dentists, whether they want to bring on a specialist for, periodically to deliver these additional services, or my general dentist who wants to bring on, the clear aligners, that kind of thing. Again, you need to make sure you can deliver the product. It's almost like you have the availability in your schedule to deliver it. Understand the cost structure is a big piece that's missed. They focus on the revenue side. You got to understand the cost structure of it as well.
Yeah. Here's another example. Like, our dentist, I don't know if he still does, but they bring in a periodontist, I think 2 days a month.
Yep.
And when I heard that, I thought, why would I ever call? I mean, I can go to a periodontal practice that's open 4 or 5 days a week, and I could probably get in sooner because there's just more days that they're open. I understood it from the dentist perspective. Better patient care, more revenue. I got that. But I don't know, 2 days a month. Like I imagine I need a procedure. I might, it's just so, why would I do that? I mean, that's just the availability is too narrow.
It can be, but usually those people are busy at where they're at other 4 days a week.
Sure.
So they're trying to work at other practices to expand.
Mhm.
And usually they will have more availability.
But then I would just, if I like that person, I would go to where they are 4 days a week, assuming it.
But I'm saying they're usually busy.
Yeah.
They're booked out.
Got it.
So again, it depends.
Yeah. It
And
depends.
certainly a lot of people just like comfort going to the same place. I
True.
mean, whenever I go into a room, I sit in the same chair every single time, right? It's just we are creatures of habit, and going to
Hmm.
the same location, going to the same chair,
Hmm.
the same parking spot is something we all most
True.
do. And it's nice to not have to go somewhere else and have to sign something else and sign your life away and more
Hmm.
different financial policies, all this different stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's nice to just have one
Which
spot.
gets back to if your target market is, your own patient population, that's an advantage nobody else has by definition. So yes. So
Yeah.
yes. Anything you think we should have covered that we didn't?
I mean, just again, don't make sure you have a plan.
Hmm.
Is the overall theme of this. I think it's important to keep your ears open for opportunities to add additional service lines
Hmm.
or even additional providers for that matter, um,
Hmm.
because it's kind of the same thing.
Hmm.
Um, but but you really have to have a plan to make sure you can deliver.
Yeah.
There's a phrase that I say all the time: under promise, over deliver.
Hmm.
And if you are finding yourself that you're over promising
Hmm.
these services and you can't deliver them,
Hmm.
then it will then taint the well of the bigger piece of what you do.
Yeah.
And then your reputation goes, well, they promised this and they can't even do that. And then you start losing patients.
Yeah.
Really have to make sure you have a plan to deliver those services um, physically and
Hmm.
financially.
Yeah. Which is, yeah, I don't know if you meant to say this or not, but you sparked an idea of, so you add on new service X and you're kind of fumbling with how you deliver it. And your target is your current patient population, which is kind of common.
Yep.
Um, they might just say, I don't like you at all anymore. And just because that was a bad
Exactly.
experience, it's as
Yeah.
important. Yeah. So be careful. Just be eyes wide open. I mean, something I would say is we should have covered, but we didn't, is you have this new idea. Something I do, this is me, is just beat the crap out of the idea. Like just with a healthy skepticism, not like but just eyes wide open, just beat it up. And
Yeah.
if it's still standing after you try to kill it, well, maybe it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But really just attack it because a good idea should withstand, you know,
Yeah.
questions, really. Just be eyes wide open about it.
Yeah.
Where can somebody get started with this if they haven't done it or they've been thinking about it, they want to get off the fence? Because you said it, there's consultants, there's continuing ed, there's probably no shortage of cool sounding ideas that are all, of course, made to sound very simple and easy to do. So where can somebody get started on if they're thinking about this?
Well, not to plug ourselves too much, but talk to us. I mean,
Hmm.
we are usually the first we engage with our clients virtually every month.
Hmm.
In office, virtual, combination of the two.
Hmm.
And we do that so we can collaborate with our clients.
Hmm.
And there's going to be ideas that we bring, there's going to be ideas that they bring, and we
Hmm.
work together to formulate a plan and come up with
Hmm.
ideas together. And because again, there's stuff that my clients come up with. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Let's explore that, or
Hmm.
vice versa.
Hmm.
And it's not a knock on me or our firm or our clients. No, we work together. We are
Hmm.
trying to row the boat together.
Hmm.
And as long as we come in with that mindset, we work together to come up with a plan to make
Hmm.
sure it makes sense.
Perfect. 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 Well, thank you. Thank you for coming on. This is your fourth or fifth, I think. I've lost count. Such a high
Yep.
number. Appearance, always good stuff. Easy to find on our website. So thanks for coming back on Practice Care. Really appreciate it.
Thanks again for having me.
And we've got your contact info that's going to go into the show notes for this episode. So anybody wants to get a hold of you, they now have another way to do it. Couple of points before we wrap up. First, subscribe to Practice Care. I've said this enough times. Practice Care is one word, easy to find. new episode every week, and that's how you can stay up to date easily. And the other point is, if you've got some experience on the business side of private practice, whether you are like Joe or us and you serve practices or you're a practice owner yourself, don't overthink it. All advice is good advice. Just tell us about what's on your mind so we can get you scheduled as soon as possible. In the show notes of every episode, there's a link, very quick and easy. Just tell us so we can get you scheduled ASAP. Thanks very much, and until next time.